Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to make the second part of the home page. So we are going to continue from the um, first video. So let us recap quickly what we made in the first video. So we integrated the React Native tabs navigation. With that we use React Native elements to create this start button. And next we created the UI of the start a run page where we added the text input to take the input of kilometers that we want, and a toggle button where the distance which will change from distance to the time. So let us continue from this point. So first we will complete our text input that we have, that how much kilometer or how much time or how much kilometers and minutes you want to walk. So first let us write down what all we need for our input, so that we can make some certain conditions, like what all numbers can the user put inside our application for the metric. So for my case only, I want only 2 decimal places for distance because it can't go greater than 3.5 kilometers. I don't want for 3.5432 like that. I want only 2 decimal places or one. Next, I want that it should be so this is for distance right now. Let me just write the comments for distance, and then we will add for time as we go along. Right now let us complete for distance, only 2 decimal places, and nothing else. I think only 2 decimals, and yes, and so it will be to round off to round off the number to 2 decimal places. So if the user writes, for example, if he writes 2.54 like that, we will just, if he write 2.54, I will just round off 1 decimal places. Okay, so let us not let him add more than 2.5. It should be only to 1 decimal place. So only 2.5 can be written, or it will be 2.0 or 1.8 and etc. So I want only that for distance. So let us start with some research, like how we can achieve that, and then we will start coding. Okay guys, finally after a lot of research and figuring out what we want the input to be like, so I have found a regex. So I mostly recommend using, like I majorly use regex for validation, because it becomes much easier for us to validate and write much lesser code, and it is not that difficult to understand a regex if you have some knowledge before, and you can even go to their website and search for it. Let me just show you. uh regex 101, this is the best site that you can use. I also try out things and figure out what I want the validation to be like and what should be the regex for that. So coming back to the code, I have created a function over here. Let me tell you what this is and what the regex is. So I will just give some comments for helper function for validation. So let me show you what I have done. So if you see that we had made this comment that we want the input to be like this. So first, whenever the input comes in, we will first check by giving the input to the input handler that we have. It will see that if the this is for the distance only, not for time, only for distance. It will check if I'm explaining what the regex is doing right now. So it says that it can have any number from 0 to any digit from 0 to 9 any number of times. So over here the asterisk mark over here, it depicts that it can have the last group that we have mentioned can have any number from 0 to any number that you want. So I will just write the comment over here. The distance should have any number of digits from 0 to 9. After that we have a backslash and a dot over here. So this means that the dot there can be a dot, so there can be 0 on only one dot. So what I mean by this is, if you see the emulator right now, it can have no decimal point or one decimal point only. So that is 1 or 0 decimal point. Next we have again the digits. We can have only 1 or 0 number of digits for after the decimal point. So I will just write 1 or 0 digit, 1 or 0 number or digit, if you understand, after the decimal point. Okay, so this is was for the regex. Next, what we are doing is we are making use of the match function of JavaScript to see if our input satisfies the regex mentioned above or not. So this will send us a true or false back to our if statement over here. If the number is validated, so it will not go over, it will directly set the input. And if it is not validated, it will show us a console.log that is wrong, and just a math.random for debugging that I have just used. So let us refresh and see what happens. So I'm just going to type and just keep an eye on over here in the logs. So I'm going to write 2. So if you see that only one number was allowed after the decimal point, so it is giving us a wrong. And if I just remove this, there will be no wrong, because what happens it doesn't give false, it gives true. So it doesn't go inside the if statement, it directly sets our metric value to the to the use state over here. So now if I go and remove this, it will not make any changes, because they can be 0 or 1 decimal point or no number after that. But I think it will doesn't give also. So it will give if we give one more decimal point, it will give some error, and if we give multiple numbers after the decimal point, it will give error to that. So let us now add a more things to this, that if you're getting an error, if the validation is not right, we want the underline to be red, so that the user knows that something is wrong, and if it is not, then we will keep it black only. So let us do that now. Okay, so let us give a state over here for to see whenever we give an input, if it is having an error, then we will make changes to that state, and we will then change the color of the underline over here, or of the whole color. I think we will make changes to the whole color. Yeah, we will make change to the whole color. We will make the everything red over here. So let us do that. First, make a use state for checking if the error is happening. Metric value error. So first it will be false only. So if it is false, or we can give it false. Okay, so let us go with false right now. After that, we will have to add few colors to the styling. So let me go to the colors and then just write over here metric error. For the time being, I'm just giving red. You can obviously add any hex code for that. So let us see if it is showing any error. First we will add set state, set metric value to true, and then we will have some conditions over here, like no, spreading our styles, and then let us see what should we give. We have a use state over here. We need to give the border colors. Okay. All right, I think I got it. So first we have to maintain one more state for metric color to be at the start is black only. So let us go with default of black, and since whenever we are changing the state, the use effect should run. We will make a use effect now, so it will run only when an error occurs. So whenever a metric, let me just take that metric value errors value changes. So whenever the metric value error changes, this use effect will any function side of this will take place. So I want the metric value to be changed to red. Right now I'm giving only hard colors, so we will make changes by making it dynamic, and over here I will just spread that thing to background color. So no, so text color, just is it color only? Yeah, color to be metric color. So let us see what happens. So yeah, so if you see right now it has become red. So let me change this to if the metric value error is equal to true. We don't have to give true because it will only go inside this if statement only if the boolean is true. So we can give this, just refresh first. Let us see. Right now it is black only. So let us try to give some error color. So if you see that it has become black now. Okay, so we need to give else to also, else metric color to be black. Go back to the previous state. Go back to if you just think about it, I just had this thought, like we are maintaining too many states over here. If we just go with changing the metric state over here only, No, okay, so it will be useful ahead as we are going when we are going to press start, and if the value is still in error and still we are pressing start, it will we should show an alert that your value is not compatible to the application, so you should change it. So let us go ahead and see what happens, and over here we will set it to false, right? Okay, so let us see. Right now, no error is there. Let us go for 88 point. No error, surprisingly. Let us see why. Okay, so we need to give this in else, not all the time. So let us see. Yeah. So it is showing error right now that you can't put more. So this is fine, but this is not right. So it is not letting us go for more. And if you go for 1.8, this is fine, but not greater than this. I think this is working now, and it is pretty great that we are doing this. I don't think that the color is working right now because it's working to our advantage right now. So let us, because right now what we are doing is, if there's an error to the value, we are not letting the person to make changes to that. It will not let it you go to 1.999, so that is great. We are holding it off. So I don't think what we just did is much use right now. So let us just comment it for now and see to it later. So let us remove the color part. Wait, what did I just do? I did something. Yeah. Okay. So let us remove the color part for now and just I don't think this will be a much use also. Let us just remove this. Sorry for this. Let us also remove this and the state that we have. No use of this metric color. Let us also get rid of this. All right, so let us see what our input field is right now. So it is 0.1. We can't give more than this. So first you will have to eliminate something. We can't go more ahead. I think there should be also one that we can't give 0 to this. So this should be 0 or more, I think. Let us see what happens to that. So if 1 or more, least is 1 and greater than that you want. So let us see, removing this and removing this. Yeah, we can't remove this last digit, we want that. Also, we can't put any other symbols, only the dot. I think this is great. We have accomplished our input field. Let us see the styling. This is fine, I think. Yeah, it is fine. So 1.8 kilometers. That looks good. Next we want, let us like move this validation to a new other file, because I don't think it is just cumbersome over here. So let us go and create a new file. It should be in constants only. So let us create a new file over here, validation.js. Paste this over here, helper function export const validation, helper function for validation of metric values. All right, so I will just remove use effect from over here. Next, let us import this, and yep, so this is cool. Let us just see if everything's working. I will just remove console.log, and we can improvise and just go for this lesser code, right? So let us see 0.3333. Not working that good for some reason. It should be, I messed up something. Okay, yeah, we need this. Oh, sorry. If validated, then set the value, right? Don't set the value when there is an error. My bad. So let us see. We give 0. Yep. We also don't want it to go to million like this also, right? We need one more regex property for this. So let us add that it can be, should it be how many kilometers do you people want to run? Like it should be 6, I think max 6 digits or unlimited. Let us keep it unlimited right now. Go for how many kilometers you want. Like you will reach the moon like this. Okay, so this is done. A great job. Let us just add this to our Git quickly. Git. Yep. So git add dot git commit addition of distance metric value. Okay, and let's git push. All right, so next let us move on. Before going for the timing metric, I want to make use of toggle button over here. So since we are toggling, we want to change the state over here. So what I will do is I will create two states. One is to see when the person has clicked on it, so it is toggled, it has moved from distance to time. So that is one state. And the second state would be like whenever the person changes from distance to time, we want this kilometer also to convert to time, I think, or we should give it minutes. Time seems fine, I think. Time seems no, minutes. We should give minutes right now, and then we can move forward and make it more complex. Let us go for minutes right now. Let me just give some comments over here. States. So this is the first state that we have. So this is for metric value. The name of the variable is quite meaningful, so it should be understandable. But let us, for the learning purpose, I will just write it over here. No need to add too many comments in your production level applications, like how much I am writing. I think not that much. Just do give a comment at the start of your page, so that the person who enters this page can read the first few lines and understand what is going on inside the code. So let me just give few. Yeah. So this is the run screen page component of home screen. All right, it contains these features. So this is now the next state is for toggling, and after that the state will be for metric types, I think, right? Metric unit, yeah, metric unit. So let us give a state over here, use state. So this is toggled. Uh, Toggle, the initial is distance, so let us give distance only. So let us make our toggle button dynamic by adding distance to it, right? So whenever we press over here, we want it to be changed, so let us create a new function and let us give some helper function to make changes to the text input. Alright, now we want toggle function. We can actually do a one line over here, but let us create a new function. I find it much better. Toggle function, toggle handler, let us say toggle handler. So if toggle is equal to distance, then we want it to be set toggle to time. We want this to be time, and the second metric I have not written right now, and else we want set we want set toggle to distance. Let us see. Yeah, so first we need to give it to a over here toggle handler. Time and distance, distance. This looks good, right? We are toggling from distance to time. So when we toggle, we want this kilometer to be changed to minutes. So let us create one more state for that. It will be use state, and it will be metric unit, set metric unit to kilometers, kilometers, right? Kilometers. So over here we have kilometers, and if the distance, if the toggle is distance, and then we want to change it to minutes, else we want it to be changed back to kilometers. Let us see. Okay, so we are toggling, so this looks good, right? We are toggling from time to kilometers and minutes. Good. This is a start. So now let us move on and create the text input for our minutes. So one thing I notice is that if we don't give anything in our value of distance, like nothing is given over here, so it will not recur, or it will not automatically add a zero to it. So I want that functionality, so I will make few changes, and I don't want that you can put any number of numbers you want. I will only restrict to two values over here, and for the time being, let us do the same thing for the values after our decimal point. All right, so let me just refresh this. So let us see what happens if we add 5. We are not able to add any more values to this, and if we reduce this, we can we need at least one value. We cannot have 0. So we can obviously, I think we can do something like we can add 0, but if you don't add any values to the metric, it will automatically put it to 0.1. So that makes sense, I think. So if I add a condition over here, sorry, if I add a condition like if regex dot, sorry, if yeah, after matching, let us first match our values. If input dot match regex and input dot I want to check whether if the value before the decimal point is not given, or after decimal point is not given, then we should automatically add it to 0. So if I let me just see how we can do this. Okay, so let me show you what I have achieved with this. So what my goal was, if the user is not entering any number at the end, so let me just add this and remove this one. So it is like 0.6.9, and now if I delete 9 also, it should automatically add a 0 to it, right? So if I go over here and add remove 0 from first over here, and then I also remove 6, so it will automatically render 0. So in that way we will be able to handle our inputs later in our database and when we are processing the input very easily. So let me show you what I first did. So first of all, let me just go back to what the state was of this regex. One, yep. So this was the state of the regex before, and yeah, this was the state actually. So what I have did, first of all, I have added that we can have only two values, because personally I don't want more than two values before the decimal and after decimal point, and I want the same thing for the number after our decimal point. So I have added this functionality, and later what I've done is, let me just comment it and write again. So what I'm doing first in my if statement is, if let me just copy this. Yeah, so first our if statement, what it is doing is, first it is checking where if the first character in our string, after it has been validated by our regex, if it contains a decimal point, then we will straight away add a 0 to it, append a 0 at the beginning. And the next thing is, one more if statement that we have is, if the last character of our input is 0 is a decimal point, we will add a 0 at the end. So in this way we will be able to make sure that our value is correctly handled but when we are processing it afterwards. So I think this looks good. So now let us move on to our time input. So for that, what I was thinking is, if we make use of the same regex for that, but it will not be easy. So what same function, I think validate input, this I want to use the same helper function. So what we can do is, we can send one thing over here, so that is, we can send one more input to a function, which is the toggle uh, property that we have. So in this way we will be able to check in a validation function if the regex which regex we want to use for which validation. So we can over here we can type of metric. This should be in curly in semicolons. If type of metric is equal to distance, then we want this regex. So let me just take this and declare it above, and else we want a different regex for that. So let us see what regex we want for our timer this time. So let me just go over and this should be the same, I think, because let us go ahead and see what we want for our minutes. And one more thing I was thinking, like if we do it hours and minutes, so let me just show you what I was thinking. We can give it like hours and no, sorry, not this one, below, hours and minutes. Let us see how it looks. Refresh. So I think this looks pretty neat. So we are mentioning that we want hours and minutes like this. For before the semicolon we want hours, and after that we need the minutes. So let us change our default value also. So whenever we restart our application, we have distance and distance as our default metric. Let us give over here, give it 1 and 1.0 kilometers. And when we are changing to timer, we also want a default value for that. So for that we can give it as 10, sorry, we can give it as 10 hours. That is a long time. Let us give it 0 0 1 0 0, so 1 hour, right? And the same we can give for time when we change it back. So like, okay, so let us refresh and see what it shows. So it is time over here and 0 and 1 hour for our time. This looks good, I think. So now let us create the regex for validation of our hours and time, for hours and minutes. So in this thing also, I have written the distance over for the distance what validation we have used. Let us now write for time over here and remove. Yeah, so let us see. So I want the same thing, like I want only two values to be there for hours and minutes also. Only two number values, not more than that. So I don't want it going, so that is working for some reason. Okay, so we are using the same regex right now. So and we want this semicolon or this colon, sorry, not semicolon, colon also here. So this is a little tricky that we have having it. So if you see that we are able to move this timer value, I don't want that, so we will change that also. Let us first focus on the regex and then we will apply some styling changes to this also. So let us see how I will just research and how we can get our best regex, and then I will explain it to you. Okay, so I have come up with this regex that we can use for our time input. So what I'm doing over here, let me explain this to you like I did the distance part. So the time is given by hours and minutes. So first of all, we can have any number of values from 0 to 9, and these values can be 0 or 2. So there is that, and then we have the colon. The colon should be there. It cannot be like there is no colon. The same way I've added 1 for our distance also. So we want the decimal point or a colon to be there. It cannot be deleted. And after the colon we should have 0 or 2 values for after a colon for the minutes. So that is what I have made the regex for, and that we will use. And let me just write in the comments that the minutes, the hours and minutes max value, minutes, I can't type minutes. What is minutes? Minutes can be 0 or 99, can be like less than, can be greater than equal to 0, greater than equal to 0, or and less than equal to 99. That is the max and the minimum value of minutes over here. So one more thing that we have to add that we did for the distance is that if we don't add any, if we remove everything from here, so the colon will not move because of the regex, but it can be like this. We can't handle this value. So for that we will add one more condition over here for our time, because we are using the same function. So let us add an uh, condition that if the input, the first character of a string is a colon, then we should add a 0 before the start of the input. And if the input dot, the last character of our input is colon, then we should add a 0 at the end of our input. So let us try this. So right now we are in the distance. Let us go to our minutes and let's see what happens. Right now we are 0. We can't go less than 0, and if we are over here, we cannot go less than this. Let us try with different input. Let us go with 9, and it will directly change to 0. So this is good. Now we have made the use of our, I think that this is the only input validation we need in the whole application. So that is good that we have completed this part. Now our run page is almost completed. Now the next thing would be to add our maps at the end, at the behind this metric. So we are able to toggle between these values, and we are, so one thing I am seeing is that if we change from distance and time, our value is also resetting. I think that is fine. We should not store that in any place. I think that is fine. Yeah, that is fine. So let on pressing start, we will have us run page that I showed before. Now let us add our maps to the background of this page. So let us go back to our PPT and see. So we are going to use React Native Maps. So this is the documentation link that I have given over here. Let's go to that. First, we will have to install the package by npm installing this. So let us do that. And going to our application, let us copy this and paste it over here. In the meantime, let us also make the changes that we want for Android. So I'm going to directly copy this part. So this is in the build.gradle of Android folder. Let me show you where that is. Going to the, so this is done, let us close this. So going to the Android folder and the build.gradle file. This is the same object that it is shown here. Let us copy this and see what all do we need. So if you can see, we have compile SDK, target, build and min SDK already present, so we can delete these four. And for these three at the bottom, we have to add values to the support lib version and the Android maps util version. So for that, I have already researched and checked out these URLs. So I will I can also teach you how you can go through it. So go to the link that they have mentioned, and there you can see that they are also saying that you have to add the latest version. So the 2.2.5 is the latest for maps utils. Let us enter that 2.2.5. And for support lib version, nothing was mentioned over here, so I did some quick research and found out one value that we can use. Let me get that. So it is 28.0.0. You can add these to your build.gradle file in Android folder. So when this is done, we will move on to the next part. Here we have to add this metadata tag and use library tag in the Android manifest.xml file. So we will copy this along with the comment so that we know that what for this dependency has been added. So going to our Android app, then the source, main and the Android manifest.xml file. Now inside of this, we have to add these tags that we have copied in the application tag. So over here, not so let me just do some comment tabs to align these. Yep. And I will also add one comment that this is for Google Maps dependencies. Dependencies. So I find this useful as when something crashes, I can see that and I have to rebuild the whole application. I can see what all dependencies I had and what all dependencies I have to remove or add. So it is useful in that way. You can use this way if you want. Now in this we have this metadata tag. The name has been written over here. It is the API key for a Google, and now we have to mention our Google Maps API key over here. So let us go to our cloud platform. So if you can see, I'm in the console.google.com, console.cloud.google.com. So you have to, I think you will have to make an account, and then there will be some payments that you have to do, or you will have to use. I'm actually using a free package right now that they have for 3 months. You can also avail that. Now then you come to the Google Maps platform. So let me just add this link to the PPT also, that it becomes easy for you. Google Cloud, Google Maps, Google Cloud, yeah, Google Cloud. Okay, so this works. So you can directly go to the PPT. Now inside of this, first go to the APIs. Over here you will have to add Maps SDK for Android. Just either go let us first go for Maps Android SDK. Yeah, just search for that. And then you will have to enable it. Instead of the manage button, there will be an enable button. Click on that and then the API will be enabled. Now going back to our page, we can go to our credentials, and Let me just take that. Going to our credential, it will show us our API key that we need. This API key will not be available after this video, so you have to make your own key. Then going back to our application, we will have to paste our key over here. Now pasting that, now we will have to rebuild our whole application. So this is done. This was all for our Android maps, for our maps installation. Let us rebuild the application now. It will take few minutes because we have made changes to the Android folder. That is why it will create take some time. Let us see. Hopefully it will not. In the meantime, let us go and check out what we need to add the maps inside our application. So I'm talking about the component that we need. So we will have to use the map view. So let us import that. This is already done. Let us see if it is right now. It won't be showing anything. So let us go to our. Let us remove this. So let us just try it on our app.js file right now. We will obviously make some changes. We don't want everything in our app.js file. And I will just copy this part from here and paste it in place of home screen. And I will just add one more property to this, that is the style of flex1, just to see if our maps is running or not. It is refreshing. Let me refresh from here also. All right, so as you can see, we have integrated maps into our application now. It is showing some place in USA, I think. All right, so let us go back and remove this. All right, so we are back to our screen that we want. And going into our run screen where we want the map as a background. So let me just minimize this and so let us add our maps over here. Let me just copy this once again, and inside of here we will add our Google Maps. Let us see if we can see it over here. So I can't find map because I have not imported it. Importing imported, it should appear over here. Let us see. If it is not, then we will have to give some styles to it of flex1. Let us see how it shows. Come on, come on, come on. Not showing anything right now. Let us see why. It is not showing for some reason. Let us not make changes with this. Let us see what the error is coming and why it is not showing over here. Wow, this is the reason why it is not working. So we have these things, right? This is the reason why it is not working. Let us see which one is. I think these two uh, is making it not work properly. Yep, this is the one. So anyway, we don't want it like this. We will have to obviously make some changes. So let us see what we can do. So let us remove, we need the, according to our application that we want, let us go back. We want the Google Maps to be in the background, right? So for that, we need all of these parts above it. So I think we will have to make changes to the styling already. Let us see what we can do. Let us take everything of this to above this. Let us just first delete. This is the application that we already have. Now adding a view to it, and this is one, and our maps is one, right? Our maps is not showing right now. Let us see why. We need these properties to it. Right now I am like making, one second, our view over here to let us give some styling to it. Right now I'm just giving inline styles because we are testing it and not everything is certain right now how it will come up. It is not coming up at all right now. Let us see why. Let us comment this if we can, because we can't. Right, let us just remove this and put it over here for a while. Commenting is not working at all. Let us just create a new file and paste it over there. Yeah. All right, we will not save that file for a while. Let us see, our map is working fine. So now what we want to do is we need text above this map, right? So for that we need to give some different styling. So let me just add a text over here and see where where does it go. So it is going at the bottom of the if you can see, I will just increase the font size. Font size to, oh, that is too big, 53. So if as you can see, it is going at the bottom of the page, but we don't want that. We want it over it above it. So I think we will have to give some absolute positioning. So we want, by absolute positioning I mean, right now what is happening is inside a view, every time all the items are stacked one above other. So it is moving in row wise, in column wise. So it is a stack, like a stack, like 1 2 and 3. So that is how a view works. It is already the display is flex. If you have some knowledge of CSS, that is, display is not block size, it is a flex. So and the flex direction is always column. So that is why it is showing like 1 2 3. So we don't want that. We want it above over the background, over the maps. So what we will do is we will position to position of the position of the text that we want to be absolute. So let us see how it goes. Bottom to 0 and right to 0. Let us see what happens. So if you see that is I remove the font size. Let me bring the font size back. 53. So if you see, our hello is over here. So what we want is our other items to be like that only, but our maps should be the opacity should be very less. So let us have opacity and it should be 0.3. Let us see. Yeah, this looks good, right? This is somewhat like that, but not exactly. We will move on and make changes to that also. This looks good to me, but we don't want to map to change, so we will add some properties to that. First, let us add what all we had in our page already to this. Align the maps and the start button and everything we had. So let us do that. So for that, I think we will have to make use of this CSS that we had in our view only. So let us take this once again, or let us see how we can do this. So we want this to be bottom right. Seems fine. Let us just try it out how it looks. I will just copy everything again. Let us keep it also here only. Let us copy it and paste it over here, and I will just copy the CSS that we had. And give styling to all of this, style to this, right? Yep. And comment this out. How does it show? Okay, so we have everything crumbed up over here. So this looks good. At least we have something. Nothing is better than something is better than nothing. All right, so let us go ahead and align this where we want these things to be. So I will also let us see if we can do that. Don't give me this, man. Yeah. Styles dot main container. Does this? Oh, amazing, right? Like we have everything, and we have everything working also. So let us. Everything's working fine. We have, but we don't want to move the map behind. Let us see the properties. I think I will have to go inside of this. Let us see the map view properties. Let me research and get back to you. All right, I have found a solution with which we can stop the movement of the map whenever we click on it. So let me show you how I did that. Let me just go back a little, not this, and redo the code and to show you where we were. So I did some research, and what we want is, if we right now, if I just refresh it, ding, 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 we are able to move the map. So what we can do is we can include the map view in one more view, removing this text obviously, giving the styles as above that we have. Styles, yep. And we want a pointer event. So pointer event, it is just the same, that it will not allow any movement. Whenever we press on that particular view, we will make the pointer to be none, so it will not take any events of the pointer, if that makes sense. So we are just cancelling out any prompts that we get by the thing, by the pointer. So we can't do anything, but everything is working. So that is cool. Now I think we can reduce the opacity to much more, right? So let us see that let us go back to our application now. So if you see, we have a street view over here, and we have a pointer also. let us see how we can create the street view and the pointer. Now let me research on this. Okay, so I have found out what we can use for the design that we require. So if you see that we are not getting like proper names of the um, any landmark on a map right now, but in this image, but in our code we will what I've done is, let me first tell you step by step what all I've done. This is not required, I just was trying out things. It is not required as such. So what the major thing I've done is I'm making use of the same map type. This is the default one only. If you don't write it, it is still fine. Don't write it. We can't change it on the runs, obviously. Yep. So this is the only line that I've made use. So the minimum zoom level that we get by default on our app whenever we start the map view is 0. So if I will just show you, this is the minimum zoom level. This is 0 and the max is 20. So whenever the person is running, we obviously want him to see where his particular location is, right? So for that we can add lesser, we can less the opacity a little. So for that we need the proper location. The marker will we will add the marker right now. So I have added the minimum zoom level of 18 and I have, I think 0.5 opacity is looks good. We will have to make changes to this input and the start and distance button to the CSS a little. We will do that in a while. So let us see what all we can do. Next, what do we require? So let us see how close we are to the application. Except of the fact that it is not showing the restaurants or the landmarks nearby, we are pretty close. We just need to add some touch-ups to our CSS and a marker on a Google Maps, and then we are good to go. So this looks good to me. We have completed a lot of things in our home page. This was the trickiest, I think, the second or third most trickiest part of the whole application. And let us now add the marker over here that we have in this picture, and then we will be able to complete our home page. So let us begin and add our marker that we want for the position, for the current position of the user. For that, I'm going to use the circle functionality of React Native Maps. So let us open that again. One second, React Native Maps, and we will make use of the circle component. Sorry, circle. Yeah. So we are going to make use of this. So for that we need to give a center of latitude and longitude and a radius, how big we want the radius of the circle to be. So let us first add so it should be inside our map view only. So we are going to close this tag. Inside of this we will add a circle. So circle and close. Inside of this it will probably give us some error right now. Yeah, it is okay. So we'll give the circle center, it is the center, right? Yeah. center, we have to give an object to this. So I will just take these longitude and latitude only and make a object, and we have to give radius also. So an radius of 3. Let us see where it is. Let me refresh. Yeah, you can see it is right over here in the black outline. Let me give it color, fill color, sorry, fill color of red. So you can see now it is present over there, that we have. Let me just reduce the opacity to 0.6. Yep, now we can see, and I think we can increase the size a little to showcase it. Yep, this looks fine. Of 5, the 4 is best. Alright, we have a marker at the center, and this is what we wanted to achieve in our application. So we have a marker over here, and with the start button and the distance and the kilometers. Now let us do some styling and make it much more like we have in our actual picture. Okay, so let us go back to the application now. In this, I think we should first of all make this distance. I think first of all, is there any styling that we need to put in our styling sheet? I think we should take this styling, since both of them have the same styling. So we will just give it styles.container, and over here also styles.container, and in a styles we will have a container. Yep, it seems all right. Right now, the latitude and the longitude are static because we are right now working on the UI. As we go and make the application more dynamic, we will make use of getting the actual location, the longitude and the latitude of that particular user, and then creating the map accordingly. So we will do that soon. Let us remove this. If you want, I can explain this style much more. You can tell me in the comments. So basically, I will just tell it now. Basically, what we are doing is we are making the position to start at this right bottom, or right bottom point, like bottom 0 and right 0, and then we are just giving it the styling that we already had. So from this point, you should take the whole width and the whole height. Then you should justify your contents accordingly that we have mentioned over here. That is the easiest explanation that I can give. Next, I don't think we have anything else to refactor. So let us go ahead and make some changes to the styling. First of all, I want to make this distance background to be white. So let us open this start button. It is not start button, it is this toggle button container. Let us add a border, so background color of white. Yeah, this looks good to me. We have white background color, and can we increase the size to 16? Yep, this looks much better to me, much more appealing. And let us also increase the size of the start button. Where is the start button container? Avatar size. How big is that? It is quite small. I think it looks fine in this way. I think this looks fine. I think we should increase the font size and So yeah, also one more thing that we have to take care. Let me just enter this. Okay, so we should increase the font size of our metric. So going to the metric and styles, metric bold and font size to be 52, and border, that this looks good to me. And let us also make kilometers bold. Do we have any styling? Yep, metric unit, font weight of bold. Let us also increase the size to 18. Yeah, this looks good to me. Now we can go forward and let us see what all we need to change. First of all, let us add these colors that we have just added over here, like a hex code, to our colors constants file. Let me also do this. Oh, it is hash ff. Right, so let me take all of these. This is the border color of toggle button. So going to the colors, toggle button, it is border, toggle button border to be hash ff hash cc. Let me take this and paste it over here. Colors dot toggle button color, then background color, toggle button background. You can definitely give much smaller names, but I feel I should give these because then it becomes self-explanatory, and it will be much easier for someone who is going to work on this code later to understand. Any other color? This is the color avatar title of black. So let me give colors dot avatar title, avatar title to be as 00. Yep. Now this looks good, but I think we should make few more changes. Like, I don't want whenever we click on the input button everything moves up. I don't want that. I want that we should skip these things and we should directly these buttons should not come with the keyboard. It should not be like this. So there is one thing that we can see, that is keyboard overlap in React Native. So let me just see what is actually, yes, it is a keyboard avoiding view. No thanks. So yep. Mm. Let us use this, and we should place it at the top, I think. Let us make this keyboard copying this and pasting over here. Let us also take this and platform we need to get. Why it is coming over here? Let us see in our code. It is still okay. So what is happening now is like some of the part is not coming, like distance one is not coming, so we'll have to mention some criteria, like how much do you want it not to come. So keyboard, this is the distance between the top of the user and so we have to set the keyboard vertical offset. Let us see how much it is working. So at present it is 0. Let us give it 10 and see. Nope, 10 doesn't work. Let me refresh. Mm, 20. It is going down, I think. So should it be over here or over here? I think it should be below only. Let us see. Nope, it is avoiding that particular area only. This looks good to me, like we are not uh, relieving everything. So this looks good to me. So like we still have the location over here, and we still have the we can still change the metric properly. So this looks good. As we grow the application more, let us see what all we can do with this. So I think this is all for the UI of starter and page. Let me know how you guys like it. And before ending the uh, this home page, I want to tell you one more thing, that since in the Android manifest folder we are putting our API key, we do not want to push this to the GitHub or any public repository, because this API key is private and it can be misused. So even in the production level, it should not be posted in any public domain. For that, you can make use of few libraries that are there for React Native. The one which I recommend is is um, let me just present it, is this one, that is the React Native config. So we can install this and then go with the, so I will just open documentation. In the documentation it says it does not require any manual linking if your React Native application version is greater than 0.6. So we will just add it using our npm modules. Let me just close this and add npm install. So for that to work, first of all, go in your root directory and create a file that is .env. In this you will add a Google API, and over here let us paste the Google API that we have. Copy this, let us save it like this, and in your .getignore add .env. So when you do this, it will not the .env file will not be posted in your GitHub, and it will be secure. So now what we want to do is, this is installed. Now what you would like to do is go to your there is one that we want these configurations to be accessed in this XML file. So for that, there is one additional thing that you will have to do is go to your Android app. So we are an Android app, and inside of this, go to one second, Android app, and yeah, Android app, and inside of this, go to the build.gradle file. Close this. At the end, just add a comment for adding manual configurations for .env. Right over here, you will have to add this file that I'm just posting. So I will just tell you what this is. So it is that we are applying for project of React Native config. This is the project name, the package name that we just installed, and it is giving the path of the .env.gradle that it makes on its own when we are adding the package. So after this, just go to your manifest file, and you will have to type this what @string and your slash. I will just do it like this. The name of variable in env, just for you to understand that this is the name of the variable that you have given in your env file. Let me open that. So I've given Google_API. I will just copy this and paste it over here, not inside of the greater than and less than sign, just like this. So what is happening is we are making the Google API about the variable that we get, and using it as the Android value for this metadata tag. So let us close everything once again and restart our application. Hopefully it works. Our console didn't start. Let us start this again. So this is great, right? We are not publishing our Google API on the public domain, and it is still working. This is the thing that you should apply for your production level applications, that it should not display your secret API keys to the public. So this is all for this part 2 of home screen. We have completed the home screen completely now. Next, we will move on to the activity tab screen, and later we will go on to making the whole application of tracking our movements, and then giving the whole like the whole distance that we have traveled, and we will also showcase the whole path that we have traveled on the Google Map. So if you guys like this video, do hit the thumbs up button. It will help me grow, and it will help me motivate, and it will also help your peers to see this content. If you think that I can improve in any way, do tell me in the comments. I will surely try, because I am also learning with you guys. This teaching is new to me, and I am learning as you are learning. So do hit the thumbs up button and do tell me what I can do better. Thank you.